Hello everyone, welcome to the web development course from Desi Q&A. In this, we will be learning more about our React. In the previous video, we had learned about the basics things related to React. That is, what is React, why we should use React, and complete overview of what is this React.js. Right. So from this, we will be learning about using our React.js and directly stepping into the coding. Okay. So here for that, what I should first do is let's install some extensions for that. Okay, so the first in extension that you should have is this is live server. So basically why you need this live server that you already know, if even if you have gone through very few lectures of our HTML, you would have know what this live server is. Okay, so after this live server, one more extension that we need is this one, Thunder client. Okay, install this Thunder client extension. What this Thunder client extension means, so if you have used Postman, it is similar to that of the Postman. So if you have not gone through anything related to the Postman is nothing but you can test your APIs over there if those APIs are working perfectly. Okay, so here I will be using this Thunder client for testing our APIs instead of using Postman. Okay, let me just clear it. And after this Thunder client, the most important extension that you should have is this ES7 React. So this extension, what this extension basically does is it basically has a lot of code snippets, or you can say it has a lot of emits. Using those emits you can code very easily or smoothly. If you just write some, let's say if you write im, it will give the suggestion to import. Okay, so this is the way how basically these extensions help you out. And after this, one more extension is, this is not mandatory to install this extension, but it will be good if you install because it will make your coding go very smoothly. Okay, okay, I will just remove this and let's say if that is available. Not this. So yeah, this one, install this one. This, what this extension basically does is it will help you out in matching your braces. Okay, if you have added your opening braces and you want to check where exactly this particular scope is ending, for that reason this will show some different colors to that set of braces. You will understand what will happen by using this extension while coding, so don't worry about that for now. After that, one more we have is, I think this one. Yeah, auto rename tag. So what this tag basically does is, let's say this is a opening tag and this is a closing tag, right? So let's say you have written some other name to this tag and you want to change the tag name. So if you make changes over the opening tag, the changes will be reflected automatically to the closing tag also. So this is the use of this auto rename tag. Again, this is not mandatory to install. It will be good if you install. And then I hope you have already installed the live server. That is the most important thing that we need. Okay, so after downloading or installing all these extensions to run your React app, you will need the help of Node.js. Okay, we want Node.js. So for that, you go to the official website of Node.js, that is nodejs.org. If you just search Node.js, you will get it. And here what we have is This is for the Windows and this is for the Mac OS, and also we have the source code. Don't think about any sort of source code for now unless you are going for the open source. Here uh, you can install it for the Windows, and here you can install it for the MacBook. Okay, so installation is not that difficult like Visual Studio Code. Once you click on the install here, this has been already installed on my system, so I'm not installing it once again. If you click on that, you will get a exe file over here. So click on that exe file and download it, and then you just have to click on agree and continue, and after that you just have to click on next, next and next. That's it. So if you do so, this installation process will be over. So yeah, it is not that difficult to install your Node.js. You just have to click on install. That's it. Okay, so keep all our code of React.js. I have created this folder named React. It will be good if you create this folder in your system also, because you have to code side by side while I code, so that the code remains in your local system, and while you do projects on your own, and if you stuck anywhere, you can go to your own projects or the own code that you have built while doing this course, and you can see there what was happening and what sort of code was required and what changes you should make in your project. Okay, so for that purpose it is good to have a separate file for learnings. And after this you should have to create your React app. So for creating the React app, we have two ways. You can go here and you can create the files explicitly, right? You can create the files by yourself. You can write each and every line of code. You can create all the files, but as there will be a lot of files, you don't have to code it by yourself. You should have to install it, or you should have to give the command to your terminal to install that. Okay, install those files. So for that we have this command named, what is that, create React app. Okay, if you go here, if you're interested, you can read all this. And after that, here you can see get started in seconds, and to create a project called my app, run this command. They have given this instruction. So this is the official documentation of the React. Whenever you are stuck, go to this official documentation and learn from this documentation itself. And here what we have is this npx create React app, right? So basically this is a command that you should do, you should give to create your React app. You can just copy this and paste it over there. Here you can see npx is written there, right? So what this npx is that, so np means node package. Okay, so here if you give npx, that particular file will not be permanently stored on your hard disk. Okay, so if you don't want this particular project to be permanently stored on your hard disk, you run this npx create React app. And if you want that to permanently stored on your hard disk, unless you delete it, you can just make it to npm over here. Instead of npx, you can make it to npm. So npm basically stands for node package manager. You can google it and see. You can go here and you can see what is that. npm basically stands for node package manager. Basically using this npm we will be installing or getting all the dependencies that we require for development of our React application. So for now I will just copy this, and I have gone to this React folder. For that what you should just do is, let me show you that also. Let's say let's say you were in this, right? We were in this Desi folder, right? So I want to go to this folder. that is inside our Desi Q&A. So for that, what you should do is, you want to go to this. For that, you should change your directory, that is cd react. Okay, so if you go back, you should do cd dot dot, and again if you want to go back, you should again do cd dot dot. Okay, so this is how basically it works. Okay, I will just make it to, let me show you by copying this, and let me show you what will happen if I copy that. Okay, it does not have. Okay, you can see, if you do it in this way, that will not work. Here what I will do is cd desiq. So again, if I do like this, I got some sort of error. It is because we have these spaces right here in between. We have the spaces, and you can not give it in that way. So for that reason, I will open my terminal once again. I will just clear all the data. So after clearing the for clearing the data, what you should give is this one, this clear command. So if you have this sort of spaces, what you should do is, let me just show it once again. Okay, so I want to this directory, right? I want to go to this directory, and it has some spaces over there. So for that, what I should do is, I will get it inside the quotes. Okay, I got it over here, and then I want to go to my react directory. Yes, that works perfectly fine. And after that, I wanted this one, right? I want to run this create react app. Okay, so I will just keep the name same. You can change the name. I will make it to node package manager. For your convenience, you can change the name. This name can be anything. Make sure you follow the rules of creating the directories or folders inside the react. So if I click enter, okay, that is not working. Let me just do this. Okay, you can see that this is being installed over here. Let it just install. It may take some sort of time. Okay, before that, let me tell you one more thing. That if you want to download some project from the GitHub into your device, so after downloading that particular React project from that GitHub profile, what you should do is, you should get it into the VS Code, obviously, as a first step. And after that, you should make npm install, npm space install. If you do so, what happens is, all the packages or all the dependencies that require to run this particular React app will be installed. Okay, so we can see that package.json have been installed over here. So let's not touch it until all the changes have been applied over there. This may take some time. Let's wait until then. This is literally taking a lot of time. I will just pause until then. Okay, all the installations have done. So here you can see that this process have been done, and this package.json, also this installation is completely over now. Our React app has been created now. Okay, so let's understand what these files inside our React app has. Okay, so for that, let's begin with node modules. Okay, so what basically this node modules is, So this folder stores all the external packages and libraries, or you can call it as dependencies, that your app needs to run. Okay, you don't need to worry about this folder's contents. NPM manages it for you. You don't have to worry about all the content that is present over here. Okay, NPM manages it for you. And most important thing is, suppose if you are pushing your React project into the GitHub, there you will not push this node modules, because this is a very huge file. It is not appropriate to push this. Okay, just ignore it. And also, as I had said, when you download some other person's project from the GitHub, so after downloading and getting into the Visual Studio Code, one thing that you should do is npm install. Okay, if you run this command, it will download node modules into your project, and it will definitely download all the dependencies or the libraries that your project need. Okay, you don't have to worry about this node modules. And after this node modules, what we have is this public folder, right? So basically what this public folder is, so this folder holds static assets like HTML files and images. You can see over here index.html and some images. So what these images are, you will see when I start the app. So these images are just need to be displayed on the screen for the title. So that is the use of this image, that's all. And after this, so this public, and instead of that public index.html is a file where your React app is injected. Okay, and you can make changes to the title and add links to external resources over here. So you might not be understanding all these technical jargons over here, right? Why we are using all this, what's the need of this, you might not be understanding. Just don't get frustrated by all this. Just you will just understand it when you build your projects. Okay, so it's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about all this. You just have to know basic things. So this index.html is basically a just a HTML file. Okay, I will just remove this extra comment so that I can explain you well. I will make my terminal little smaller. Okay, here you can see we have a normal HTML file, and in this HTML file we have all this meta, viewport, theme color, content on all this. Right here you can see this is some image link that we have provided. Okay, this image link is here, that is logo 192 png, that is over here. So this is something that you write here. You give the title to your app or the web page that you already know. So basically the only thing that you should have to know over here is this div id root. Okay, id we have given is root. So using this id, this particular id, what we will be doing is we will be writing our complete JavaScript code. Okay, as you know that to render your JavaScript code you need the support of your HTML, right? So for that we have used this id. As you know that document.getElement by id is widely used. We have already used it in the projects also. So using this we have written the JavaScript code, and the entire project depends on this div id. Okay, so after that we have just this images. So these images are of no use. I'll just delete them. So you don't have to worry about this manifest.json. And after that, the next thing we have is this is src folder. So src folder is the folder where you do all the coding of your React.js. See, this folder is where you write your actual React code, and it contains components and also some styles, CSS, JavaScript files that you make use to build your app, right? So the main starting point of your React app is this one here, index.js. So this is the main starting point of your React app. Here you can see that here we have this create root document.get element by id, that is root, that we have declared over there in the public. Don't stress out too much for these things. Now just focus on the code that we write. Okay, so this is, you don't have to worry about this. So this react restrict and all this you will see. Okay, here what we are doing is, you can see here we are rendering this app. Okay, what is this app? This app is nothing but this is imported from this app folder, app file. You can see that app file over here. Whatever you write here in your app.js will be shown into your web page. Just like in HTML, whatever you wrote inside the body will be displayed, right? So here whatever you write here in the app, that will be displayed, because here we have given, right? You should have to get this element and then you should display this. So this is render, we have to render it. So this is the instruction that we have given, so that's the reason it works. And after that, git ignore, just ignore it. Um in simple words, what this git ignore is, this is for the GitHub. Basically GitHub will consider this file. This will whatever the thing that you write inside of this, that GitHub will just ignore this, these files, or you can see here these documents, node modules, pnp.js. These things will not be pushed into your GitHub. Okay, so these are the things that GitHub should ignore, that we have written, not we, our create React app has written. So this package.json, what this package.json basically contains is, it basically contains all the dependencies and scripts that we want to run our React app. Okay, so here you can see React 18.2.0. What this basically is, this is saying the version of our React. Okay, so after this version of our React DOM, React script, Web Vitals, and all this, you don't have to worry about this. So basically this readme.md, basically when you push this into the GitHub, these are the instructions that will be given to some other person, that who will download your project. Okay, so these are the instruction for the GitHub when you push it. Okay, so this is the overview of all the files that we have inside our create React app. Okay, so don't stress out a lot about these files. You can just ignore it. If you're not understanding what these files are doing, you can just ignore it, because most of the students, means everyone, those who learn this React development, will not understand why these things are here, why we have this public, why we have named it public itself, and why we have this index.html inside this public itself. So they will not understand it in the one go itself. Okay, so when you build your projects on your own, you might be making some minor changes in these files. Okay, you will understand what the impact those folders are giving to your project. Okay, when you see the impact of the changes that you made over these files or the folders, you will understand the functionality or the use of these folders. Okay, so for now, if you're not understanding, just leave it. And after this, we will begin with our React development. Okay, for to begin with React development, let me just clear all of this. So as I have said that, from where do we start our React.js development? We do start from public. No, not from the public. We code whatever inside our this src folder. Okay, so whatever you write over here will be displayed. And the most important thing that you should do is, here you can see npm start. You should run this npm start. First you should go to your folder, right? The folder where you have this one, this your react app. Okay, you should go to that folder and then you should run this npm start. Okay, if you don't go to that folder, it will throw some errors. So let me just show you what errors it will show. So here you can see that I did this npm start, and you can see that these are the some errors that are visible over here. Okay, so basically npm, by using this npm start, I'm trying to run a react app. Okay, so but we don't have that react app here, right? Yes, obviously we have the react app inside our react directory itself, but inside of this we have one more directory. So we have to go to this directory, and we have all the codes over here, right? So for that particular reason, we should go to our my app project. And then if you do npm start now, this project does not have any errors, definitely, because we have not made any changes, right? So yeah, this is the react application that you have built so far, right? So you can see that this logo was present there in your public for public folder, right? And then we had written our title over there. You can see inside of this public index.html. And where is that title? Will be here. Where is our title? Here, react app, right? So this is being displayed over there. This is being displayed over there, and all this entire thing that you are seeing on the screen is written over here inside of the app.js. Okay, so let's make some small changes over it and see, and let me show you the changes that it will reflect. Okay, so here we have this. Okay, let's go here. This is app.js, right? So this is the content that is being shown over there. Okay, so let me make some changes. If I remove this, I will get error. This is a major error because I have exported this file. I have not exported this file. So if I import it somewhere else, like index.js, we had imported it, so we are not able to find that file over there. Okay, so for that reason it is necessary to export, and also it is necessary to import over there to use it. Here you can see we have imported our app.css. Okay, app.css is here. Oh no, this is index.js. Here it is, app.css. Okay, app.css. Here you can make some silly changes, and you can see, let me make changes here. Okay, you can see that that change is being applied over there. Let me make it some dark bluish color. Okay, you can see that these changes have been applied over there. These are the css things. We will not be focusing on that. These are the keyframes, animations, media queries, and all those. We will not be focusing on the css. Your task in this course, that the react course, is that you should write your own css for the apps we build. Okay, so you can see this particular app.css have been imported over here, and the styles have been applied here. Okay, so how the styles have been applied, so I will just give you a small overview of this. You will understand it in more better way when we start building from scratch. Okay, here you can see I have given the class name app. Okay, and here app header. In our app.js, we will definitely have this app. For the app, for the entire thing, I have made the text aligned to center. Okay, if I change it to left, So that should reflect over there, and let's not focus over here. Let me just make it to center, because even other things might be affecting, because we have not gone through all the code over here, right? So for that reason, some other properties may inherit this property. So after this, we had seen app header, right? So you can see for the app header these colorings have been given here. One more thing that you should notice is that is the class name, right? So in our HTML, what we used to do is we were not writing class name, we were just saying class, right? So this is the difference. Okay, one more thing is, here we have written this code, right? This code, and what's the extension, that is .js. Okay, so if we have written some file in the .js extension, that means it is written in JavaScript, right? Then why is this HTML-ish code over here, right? Why this HTML code is here? This looks like HTML, but definitely not HTML, because we you can see some things over here. You can see class name is in different way here also, the logo, this curly braces and all these things, right? So why this thing is happening, right? So for that, the code over here is not HTML, and it is not even JavaScript. So this code is known as JSX. Okay, so let me go here, and if I search, you can go to your React official documentation itself, and you can see the details of this JSX. Okay, here you can see how this JSX is different from your HTML, and all the changes that you can observe over here. If you observe it on your own, you can understand it. Okay, so main thing in our JSX and HTML, okay, the main difference is that the main difference in our HTML and JSX is that HTML and JSX serve different purpose in the web development. Okay, you can also see the some sort of syntax is different, but it almost looks like HTML itself. And after that, HTML is a foundational markup language, definitely, primarily used for structuring the static content and layout of web pages, right? So this HTML relies on predefined tags to define elements like our, you can say, some heading tag, paragraph, links, images, or any sort of tags that we have learned so far, right? They are some predefined tags. Okay, you cannot define your tag on your own. Here what happens in the JSX is that you can define your own tags, you can create your own tags. In contrast, JSX is a extension of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript extension it is, and then after that, this JSX resembles to our HTML, but it is employed with JavaScript code. Okay, so what happens is this is facilitating the creation of dynamic and interactive components. It permits the incorporation of expressions, or we can say some JavaScript variables. Here you can see this logo, whatever variable or whatever it is, we have written it over here, right? So variables and some logic directly into your user interfaces, so that results in more flexible and data driven web applications. Okay, what this data driven web application means is you can pass your data from one component to other component, so that is known as properties. We will definitely learn it in the next lectures. Okay, so while HTML is geared towards the static web content, okay, JSX basically what this do is it is good at rendering the dynamic UI. UI is nothing but user interface that we had learned. So this is all the difference that you will find. You will definitely find some sort of difference while coding, but the good thing, what the good thing is, see, our HTML is similar to JSX, or we can say that JSX is similar to HTML thing. So I can say that this thing is easier, right? You already know HTML, and I can say that you have not learned JSX yet, but still, if you see this code, you will definitely understand the code entirely, right? I can say you are understanding this code to some 95% of this code. Okay, so this is one more advantage over that, that is a similarity in the HTML and our JSX. Okay, so using that you can build your page, and after this also you can make it over here. You can make it update and see changes over here. Update, you can see, so these changes will be reflected over there. So okay, we don't want this extra files and all, right? We don't want this app, we want to build our own app, right? So let's delete this content, this entire content, that is div. Okay, so before deleting this, I will just teach you one more thing. Let's say you want to show some paragraph here. Okay, so for that you will definitely use the p tag, right? But what mistake I have done over here is that this HTML, sorry, this JavaScript or this JSX, what it will do is it can render only one tag. Okay, it can render only one tag. So for that purpose, we have to incorporate the entire content in one particular tag. You can use that this div. Okay, you can use this div to wrap up. And also let me just write it, this is content. Okay, so I will just write the div here, not like this. I will write div and I will cut it. So you can see that when I added it over here, I have wrapped this entire content inside of our div. So this is the most important thing that you should know with respect to showing your things into the web page. And also, why have we used these braces over here, right? Why have we used these braces over here? The reason is that the JSX might add some random semicolons. Okay, this is a property of JavaScript, right? Adding semicolons or any sort of programming language. Even though JavaScript is forgiving language, it is necessary to add the semicolons. This JavaScript might add some semicolons that are not necessary. Okay, so for that reason, to avoid the errors that are caused by that semicolons, we have added this. Okay, so and so after that, let's clear the content. Okay, let's clear the unwanted content from here. Also, here you have used the div tag here, right? So you don't want to use div tag, or you can use p tag here, right? But using p tag is not an appropriate option, because p tag has some standards. P tag has some standards, like its content should be of some font, the font color should be of this, and line breaks should not be there, and all these properties the p tag has, right? So you cannot randomly select any tag to wrap up. Okay, also I will delete this div, and I will show you a good way to wrap your content that we use a lot in our React development. That is the concept of this thing. So this is basically called as React fragments. Okay, so here what I have done is I have wrapped my content of my p tag, and then content of my div tag inside of this react fragment tag. Okay, so this is the use of react fragment. Be- it is best to use react fragments instead of using div or some other tags. Here you can also see that this div also has some nested tags, right? So it will not create any issue as long as this return is giving output of just one single tag. Okay, you can see just one single tag, that is react fragment tag, is giving the output. So for now I don't want this extra code. I will just delete this. I deleted it, which the expected expression, right? So I will just add it to avoid the errors. You can see our web page is completely empty now. Okay, it is empty because I'm not showing anything here, right? Because we are building our own app, so for that reason I want to clear all the content that is unnecessary. Okay, so app.css, we don't want all this code. I have removed this and I will just save, and I will go to index.css and some sort of code. I will also remove this, and let's go to index.js. Index.js does not have any redundant code that you don't want. This has just very small code. Okay, so logo.svg, also you don't need this logo. I will just remove this file. Okay, and after that, don't think about the error that we are getting over here. The error I'm getting over here is because of, you can see that module not found, can't resolve logo.svg in src. In src folder we are not able to resolve this. So okay, that's completely all right. We will delete all the content that is unnecessarily. Don't go to this setup test and app test, all that. We will go to this public, and here this public, what is this fav icon? That is the icon of react.js. I don't need this fav icon. I will just delete it. Okay, you can still see an icon over here, that is some other logo. We will also delete all these things one by one. I'll just remove it. Yeah, okay. So I don't want this logo, right? I will delete it. And also I don't want this one more logo. I will delete it. And here, okay, we have still not deleted our that logo. In the public, let's go to our index.html. Let's name it to our app. Okay, let's name it to our app. And here, manifest.json, here I don't want this link, so I will just comment it out, or you can directly delete this. I will just comment it out because I shall have to document it. Okay, that seems we have deleted. So one more thing, why is this you need to enable JavaScript to run this app? So what is this no script tag? This is basically, uh, all the browsers does not support JavaScript. I mean, most of the browsers support. Most of the browsers that we are using today supports JavaScript, but there are some exceptions that don't use the JavaScript, that don't has the, or does that does not support the JavaScript. So if on that particular browser, if this React project is opened, so we want to display this sort of code. And also, okay, let's see the error. Using that error we can delete. Can't resolve logo.svg. Where is that logo.svg? Oh, here. I deleted that. Okay, so that has been went off, right? We don't have any sort of errors for now. If you want to see the errors also, you can go to the console and you can see the errors over there. So while trying, so this manifest error is, you can just ignore it, okay? You can just ignore it. So yeah, we have deleted most of the content that was not required in our project. And from the next video, what we will do is we will build our a new application, okay? So basically, you have not learned a lot about code of React, right? We have just learned the basic things, or we can say this is still a overview of our React JS, okay? So this is a huge stuff, and after this we will directly start building our React app, a React project. So for that, make sure you delete all those things that I have deleted. So one more thing is, as I had said earlier, if you wanted to, let's say, if you want to build this from the scratch, you don't want to have all these files, you want to write it by yourself. So just think about it, how much time it will take to write all this, not this, how much time will it take to write all this, right? So it is basically reducing the time, it is basically reducing the time. So it is better to use this create React app only. Okay, we will discuss about the project in the next video.